Yes, good evening, everybody. Welcome to class. So tonight we'll talk about decision tree, even though we talked about expected value, which is a residual knowledge we need to be able to treat questions on decision tree. So talking about decision tree is not something complex. Let me start in that way. Let me start that way. It's not something complex. It's just your ability to interpret sentence, your ability to interpret phrase as you will see when we begin to solve example. You transform those sentence into diagrams. You transform those sentence into a model to show managers, to show board of directors on the outcome that will result if a decision is taken. So decision tree is a diagrammatic tool that is used for decision making under risk and uncertainty. So what it does is that it shows different courses of action, possible outcomes, and their probabilities, and at the end shows the expected payoffs. Can be in form of profits, it can be in form of cost. So decision tree, there are certain things we must take note of when treating questions on decision tree, because for you to represent those sentences in a tree-like nature, you must know what is called your decision node. You must know what is called your chance node. Yes, so from the slide, we put that a decision tree is a graphical representation of different possible decisions, the associated probabilities, and the expected outcomes. So it is commonly used in decision-making process to evaluate various alternatives and their potential risks and reward. So decision tree, that sometimes a decision tree might need to be taken in two or more stages. So with the second stage decision, depending on what is the outcome from the first stage decision. So when you have to make a decision, the decision you need to make will be a function of chances, possibilities, outcomes that will result. Yes, for example, you might want to launch a new product in the market. Yes, you might want to launch a new product. Now, the two options that will come to you will be, should I launch the product? Should I not launch the product? Now, you can still go further to say, okay, if I should launch the product, what will be the expected profit? The expected profit, you can have 60% chance of high sales that will lead to a profit. You can have 40% chance of low sales that will lead to a particular level of profit. So, and also you can have an instance that if you don't launch the new product, it means you are not taking risks and you shouldn't expect profit. So you can express to its root. So from the branches, you walk backward to determine a decision to be taken. So there are two different types of branch points in a tree: the decision point and the outcome point, or sometimes called the chance point. So as the name suggests, for decision point is a point where a decision is made, and for outcome point, an expected value is calculated here. So the following symbols for decision point and outcome points are used. So this decision point is where probability is not attached. It is where there is clear certainty that for you to make a decision, these are the possible outcomes. It is now left for you to take that decision. So when you are solving a question or when you're reading a question, you always see that at the decision point, there will not be issue of probability. But where you are seeing probability attached to a decision, it means that is a chance node or outcome point. So you can see from these symbols, decision points, either for you to launch a business or to sell a product, you can either proceed, you have a choice to proceed or to scrap. Maybe you are into a business already and you're seeing that this business is not giving you the expected profit. So you have a decision to make, either to proceed with the business or to scrap the business. Now, there can be another decision to be made when you proceed. When you proceed at this point, the outcome can be good, the outcome can be poor. When you scrap, what will be the income when you scrap the business? When you scrap the business, it means you are selling it off. So what will be the scrap value? So for you to make a decision, if the scrap value is greater than the values of when you proceed and the result is 20,000 and you have a result of 10,000, and when you scrap, the result is, let's say, 100,000. The decision will be for you to scrap because scrap is giving you the highest outcome, the highest outcome. So the point is this: for decision, there is no associated probability. For outcome or chance node is where probability is attached. As you can see here, the outcome point or chance node. Chance node. Yes, most literatures use chance node. So the chance node you have, when it is high, the probability is 0.3. When it is low, probability is 0.7. So at this point now, you can use this probability to calculate the expected value associated with these points. This chance node can still lead to further alternatives. So the point is, you must understand the decision node is used where probability is not attached, and the chance node is used where probability is attached. Where probability is attached. When you read questions, you get to understand more about this. This is a question.
Sir, we can't see the screen, sir. It's not showing.
It's your network. Check your network.
It's showing, you know.
All right. Thank you.
So I can't see your screen. I have a very strong network here, but I think I cannot see your screen, sir.
It's your network. Oh. My screen went blank also, but it came back. It's your network that is fluctuating.
The screen is showing. You can see it. You need to check your network.
I'm actually seeing the screen.
All right. So we have a question here. It's read us that a company is considering whether to invest in a new project costing 12,000 naira, 12,000 naira, which has an 80% chance of being successfully developed. If it is developed successfully, the profit from the project will depend on whether the economic conditions are good or poor. So the profit expected depends on the economic conditions, which are forecast as follows. So we have two economic conditions: when the economic condition is good and when the economic condition is poor. and the profit when it is good is what? 50,000, and the loss when it is poor is 20,000. The associated probability is what? 0.6 when it is good, and when it is poor, the probability is 0.4. Should the company undertake the project? Should the company undertake the project that a company is considering to invest in a new project? Now, this value of 12,000, is it an inflow or outflow? Will it be an inflow or outflow? When you want to invest 12,000, will it be an
Outflow.
is an outflow from our knowledge of NPV, internal rate of return, and the rest of it? So is an outflow. So this point of you making decision, if the project is developed successfully, it has 80% chance of being successfully developed. Now, what is the chance of it not being successfully developed?
20%.
Fine, 20%. Because they will not tell you, once you have anything in percentage, overall, it should result in 200. And when you have it in decimal like this, when you add everything, it should be what? It should be 1. Take note. So now, the probability of this project being successfully developed is 80. So the probability of it not being successfully developed will be what? Will be 20%. Now, please follow the question as it is. In your book, you can do a rough sketch. Okay, that I have a decision to make. I have a decision to make. You draw 2 lines. If it is successfully developed, it's 80%, right? You draw another one. If it is not successfully developed, is what? 20%. Fine. Now, if it is developed successfully, you can see another extension of being successful. Another extension of it being successful will come up again. That if it is successfully developed, profit from the project will depend on whether the economic conditions are good or poor. So it means if it is successfully developed, you also have 2 chances. 2 chances. And those 2 chances are based on good economic condition and poor economic condition. And when it is good, the profit will be what? 50. And when it is poor, the profit will be what? 20,000 negative. You can see this is a chance node because it has associated probability. It has associated probability. So how will the diagram look like? How will the diagram look like when we have it in this nature? Now, this is the first step. This is the first step. Step 1, build the tree in this direction. Starts with the decision that is being made. If you develop the project, how much will you incur? 12,000. You can see it in brackets, 12,000 naira. If you fail not to develop, if you do not develop, you incur what? 0. You incur 0 value. 0 value. So you want to know, is it worthwhile to invest or not to invest? Now, if you should develop, what will be the outcome? The 2 outcomes that might likely result. I need a response now. If you should develop, what are the 2 outcomes that will likely result?
Successful and not successful.
Fine. If you develop to either be successful or not successful. This is it. Then at point B, draw the possibilities of the success or failure of the project together with the associated probabilities. This is it. For it to be successful, the probability is what? 0.8.
0.8.
For it not to be successful is what? 0.2. 0.2. Now, if the project is successful, what are the two possible outcomes? This is another chance. This is a chance note. That is why you have it in cycle. Another chance is coming here. Another chance is coming here. So what is the possibility, the outcome, if the project is successful? The two possible outcomes.
Good or poor?
Good or poor. Good or poor. Those are the two possible outcomes when it is successful. So it is good or poor. It will be what? The probability associated with good is what? 0.6.
0.6.
And with poor is what?
0.4.
And when it is good, the profit will be what? 50,000.
50,000.
And when it is poor, the loss will be what?
20,000.
20,000. So at this point, you can now determine, you can now work backward. Work backward. How do you work backward? You can say 0.6 multiplied by 50,000. What will be the expected value? 0.4.
30,000.
0.4 multiplied by 20,000. You have what?
8,000.
8,000.
So when you add the two together, the expected value at point C will be what?
8,000.
38,000.
The expected value at point C, see it here. 0.6 multiplied by what? By 50,000.
38,000.
So this is a negative sign, right? A negative sign. See it, this 20 is a loss, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's a loss. It's supposed to be 50 plus 20, but because this is a loss, it will be 50 plus minus 20, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So now, because this is a loss, our expected value at point C will be what? Will be 50, 0.6 multiplied by 50 plus 0.4 multiplied by minus 20,000. And you have what?
22,000.
22.
22,000.
22,000.
22,000. That is at point C, isn't it? So the expected, the EV at point C is what? 22,000.
22,000.
So it means if the project is successful, your expected outcome should be what? 22,000.
22,000.
22,000 at point C. Because the two condition is either good or poor. So when you experience the two conditions, what would be the expected value? Would be the probability multiplied by this outcome here. The probability multiplied by this outcome, you have the expected value. Now, successful, the expected value of successful is what? 22,000. For unsuccessful is what? It's 0. It's 0. So if you want to get the EV at point B, what will happen? What will be the expected value at point B? At point B, the expected value at point B will be what?
The expected value of point C.
Okay, fine. That is 0.8 multiplied by what?
22,000.
Multiplied by
22,000.
22,000. That is for successful. For unsuccessful, it will be what? 0.2 multiplied by what?
22,000.
0.
By 0. By 0.
Okay.
0.
0.
By 0. By 0. So overall, when you multiply 0.8 by 22,000, what is the result?
17,600.
17,600.
You said what?
17,600.
17,600.
Fine, 17,600. You can see it. So expected value at point B is 0.8 multiplied by EVC of what? At point C, you have 0.8 multiplied by 22 plus 0.2 multiplied by 0. You have what? 17,600. 17,600. Now, the question is, if it is successful, you have an outcome of 17,600. 17,600 minus the cost incurred will give you what?
Five
The
thousand
cost
six hundred.
incurred.
So the question now
100.
is it worthwhile to develop the project or not to develop the project?
Is worthwhile to develop the project.
Please.
So the response is decision at point A. Proceed at a cost of 12,000 to earn profit at an expected value of what? 17,600, giving a gain of what? 5,600. Or do not proceed for zero value. So the EV of the decision to invest 5,600 is better than the EV of the decision not to invest at all. So therefore, proceed with the project. So this is just a simple example to make us understand what we'll be experiencing as we go on, as we see more questions. So you must know how to interpret that a company is considering to invest in a new project costing what? 12,000, which has 80% chance of being successfully developed. It means there are two possibilities. Either the project will be successful or not what? Successful. If it is successful, it will be what? 80%. It means if it is not successful, it will be what? 20%. They will not tell you. You're expected to know that the overall outcome in relation to probability will be 100% or 1. So they will not tell you. So that when you start solving questions, you won't be asking yourself, or when you see solutions, you won't be asking the question, where have we manufactured 20% from? It is a clear issue that when something is successful at 80%, the probability of it not being successful will be 20%. So you must know that, because it's not everything the examiner will give you free of charge. So they'll expect you to think a little regarding such issues. So let's look at this question. Let's look at this question in which I forwarded the tree diagram so that we'll not have to waste much time in trying to see how we draw, and I ask everybody to try and put that in their notebook before this time, so that as we solve, we are going to follow and have a good understanding. So the question reads us that Tintinin PLC is considering a project involving the outlay of 300,000 naira. Now, this outlay means what now? This outlay means what? Somebody should help me.
Cost of investment.
Fine. Cost of investment. Cost of investment. It means it's an outflow. It will be in what? Brackets. When you are trying to solve things like MPV and the rest, it's an outflow. It's cost going out with the hope that it will bring in what? Money. Inflow. To bring in inflow. So that Tintinin PLC is considering a project involving the outlay of 300,000, which it estimates will generate cash flows over its 2-year life are the probabilities shown in the following tables. That cash flows for projects. Cash flows for projects. Yes, year one. Year one. We have a cash flow of 100,000. It means these are inflows now. We have a cash flow. There is possibility of having a cash flow of 200,000. There is possibility of having a cash flow of 300,000 with their respective. In year two, if cash flow in year one is, take notes now, if cash flow in year one is, there is a probability of that cash flow in year two will be, it means we can have 100,000 as cash flow in year two with probabilities of what? 0.25 and with the probability of 0.50, the probability of 0.25, we can have cash flow also in year two of 200,000 with probability of 0.25, 0.50, 0.25 likewise. Overall, you can see when you add those probabilities, you have 1. And also, when you have 300,000 as an inflow in year two, the associated probabilities are given respectively. Now, when you have those probabilities, the outcome in year two, when it is 0.25, is nil, 0.5, 100, 0.25, 200. That is the possible outcome. The possible outcome they are giving us that. The question didn't give detail, as in what you have to do. Maybe you have to use decision tree. Somebody can say, ask, how will you know? Some question will not just come out plain to tell you that you use decision tree. But from the lines in the question, it's very clear that we are required to determine expected value of the project's MPV. Expected value. So how do you determine that? I know you can decide to use your normal approach, but there is something here. Them giving you these values here now, nil, 100, 200, 100. It's telling you that it will not work that way. For me to determine my expected value just with this, it will just be 0.25 multiplied by 100, 0.5 multiplied by this, 0.25 multiplied by 300, then I add the results. I'll get my expected value. But they are not giving us an extension of this value. So how will you treat it? You need to calculate your expected net present value by constructing a tree diagram. By constructing a tree diagram. Now, if you have to construct your tree diagram, let's analyze this before showing the tree. You can follow what you have in your book that I forwarded. I asked everybody to draw. So now, you want to make a decision either to invest. When you invest this 300,000, what will be the expected value of the project MPV? So when you invest, that point of you trying to make a decision, which will be a box, a square, will lead to various chances, various options. And what are those options? In year one, when you invest 300,000, you are expected to get an inflow, 3 likely inflows, which are what? 100,000 naira, 200,000, 300,000, and with their respective probabilities, isn't it? So now, year one, if you have an inflow of 100,000, there is likely to be an extension from year one to year two. So when you have an inflow of 100,000 in year one, there is also possibility of obtaining a nil value. A nil value in what? in year 2. Isn't it? I don't know if you are following. Are we following, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes. See these
Yes,
values: 100, 200, 300. You can see it: 100, 200, 300.
Yes, sir,
It
we're
means
following.
when you get in year 1, when you get an inflow of 100, in year 2, it is likely that you get an inflow that is 0, which is nil, with its associated probability to be what? 0.2. In year 2, it is likely that you get an inflow of 100,000. It is likely that you get an inflow of what? 200,000. This is an extension of the chance node of 100. So it means in relation to 100,000 naira inflow in year 1, you have further extension, 3 extension of 3 likely chances of nil, 100, 200. Regarding 200,000 in year 1, 200,000 is likely to put forth an inflow of what? Of 100 with associated probability of 0.2. This is a chance. 200,000 is likely to experience a chance in year 2 of 200,000 likewise with its probability of 0.5, and also 300,000 with associated probability of 0.5. This is an extension of year 1 to year 2. Year 3 or year 2, likewise, in year 1, we have an inflow of 300. In year 2, this 300 is likely to give birth to these 3 possible options: 200,000 with probability of 0.25, 300,000 with probability of 0.5, 350,000 with probability of what? 0.25. So if you are to express this in with a decision tree, how will it look like? How will it look like? But overall, what the question wants us to do is the company's investment criterion for this type of project is 10%. Take note of that word, 10%. Note, all cash flows should be treated as being received at the end of the year. As being received at the end of the year. So required. What is the expected value of the project NPV? What is the expected value of the project NPV? And what is the probability that the NPV of the project will be negative? So from the tree I forwarded early this morning, let's now analyze this further. You can see this now. You can see this. Now, if you should look at this tree, you have a decision to make to invest what? 300,000, isn't it? 300,000 in year 0. You can see it, year 0. In year 1, this 300,000 is expected to bring forth inflow of 100,000. And there's also a likelihood of it bringing forth what? 200,000. A likelihood of it bringing forth what? 300,000. The associated probabilities, as given in the question, are 0.25, 0.50, and what? 0.25, likewise here. Now, in year 1, there is also like to be an extension, 3 likely possibilities in year 2. In year 2, you can see it, this 100,000 giving forth to these possibilities in year 2. Now you can see it here. It means in year 2, we are likely to have a new inflow. We are also likely to have 100,000 as inflow. We are also likely to have what? 200,000 as inflow with their associated what? Probabilities. Also, in year 2, when we have 200,000 in year 1, there's likely to be what? An extension of this following inflow in year 2, 100, 200, 300. You can see that expressed here. When we have an inflow in year 1 to be 200, possibility of we having 100 in year 2, possibility of we having 200,000 in year 2, possibility of we having 300,000 in year 2, likewise, with their associated probabilities. Also, when we have an inflow in year 1 to be 300, there's possibility of we having 200,000 as an inflow in year 2, possibility of having 300,000 as an inflow in year 2, possibility of having 350,000 as an inflow in year 2, which is what is expressed here. 200,000 in year 2, 300,000 in year 2, 350,000 in year 2, with their associated probabilities. With their associated probability. Is this clear, please, before we move further?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, it is.
Right. All
It's
right,
clear, sir.
fine. Let's go back to the question now. Let's see that what is the expected value? What is the expected value of the project MPV? Of the project MPV. Fine. Expected value of the project MPV. Now, what are we going to do for this? These are node. For node 1, for this node now, for this point here, the expected value, this region, this A, this point here, when you invest 100 and you get, when you invest 300,000 and you get 100,000 in year 1 and you get a zero value in year 2, you will look at that line. You also look at the line when you invest 300,000 in year 0 and you get what? 100,000 in year 1 and you get 100,000 in year 2. What will be the NPV? You look at this when you invest 300,000 in year 0 and you get 100,000 in year 1 and you get what? 200,000 in year 2. What will be the NPV? So one thing with the diagram, with decision tree, is that you must learn how to label it for easy understanding. You might not label it A, B, C, D. You might label it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, just for easy identification of your chance node, decision points, and various points on the graph. So for this now, we are asked to calculate the MPV. The MPV of the project. Calculate the expected value of the project MPV. So now, I've shown us this. In year 0, you invest 300,000. You have an inflow of 100,000 in year 1. In year 2, you have an inflow of 0. What will be the MPV? What will be the MPV of this region, point A? Point A, like this. Then you look at MPV of point B, MPV of point C. So what will be the expected, or the MPV? The MPV at point A. Take note. The discount factor is what? The company's
10%.
investment criteria for this type of project is 10%. So what are we going to
10%.
do now? What are we going to do? Let's present it. Let's present it. Calculating MPV. MPV for each for each node. For each node. For each node. Let's say node A. Node A. Node A. We're going to have it as okay. So we have it in this form. Node A. Please follow, because once I solve, you lead me further. So in year 0, let's see here now. In year 0, our cash flow is what? Yes? The cash flow in year 0,
300,000.
300.
negative, right?
Yes.
Is an outflow. Now, the discount factor is what?
10%.
At 10%. Present value. So now, discount factor at year 0 will always be what?
1.
1.
So 1 multiplied by 300,000, negative.
Still
300.
300,000.
Negative.
Now, in year 1, for node 1 rather, for node A, in year 1, the inflow is what?
100,000.
Yeah,
100,000.
100,000. So what will be the discount factor based on 10%?
0.91.
0.909. The present value will be what?
90,900.
90.9. 900.
909. Okay, 90,000.
For node A, in year 2, what is the inflow? In year 2,
Year 2. The flow is nil.
Zero.
Name.
Nil.
Zero.
nil.
Nil.
So in year 2, the inflow is what? Is nil. And in this case, though you might compute it, but this is nil, it's 0. So this is the present value here is 0. So your MPV will be what?
0.
The MPV will be what?
Negative.
209, 100.
Negative
209, 100.
209,100.
Negative.
So this is for node A, the MPV for node A. Node for node B now. For node B.
Wow.
For node B. For node B, year 0 is 300,000, right? Investments, outflow. Now, year 1, there's an inflow of what? 100, isn't it? Then
Okay.
there is also an inflow of 100, isn't it? Possibility of
Yes,
inflow.
sir.
You can see it. So what will happen here? At this point, we have what? 100. 100. So this will now result into what? should be 82,600. So the MPV will be what?
Yes. 126,500.
126,500. So we move to C. C. This is it. Year 0, 300,000. Year 100. Year 2, 200,000. In that order. So, not C. Year 0, 300. Year 100. And year 2 will be 200. So the present value here will be what? The 165,200. And the MPV will be what? $43,900. Now, for D, what will happen? Somebody should speak to that for not D now. For not D, it will be 300 in year 0, 200 in year 1, and what? 100 in year 1. In year 2, 100,000 in year 2. So when you show that, you have it as what? So not D. Not D. Year 0 is 300. Year 1, 100. Year 1 should be 200, right?
200.
And
It's
year
100 now. Okay, you want 200, yeah.
this is it, 200.
Yes, sir.
So, and year 2 will be what? 100.
100.
And these will also change. I believe everybody know how to derive these discount factors. We've been talking about it. You solve questions on them. So this is a build up on those knowledge. So 200,000 multiplied by 0.909.
800.
181,800.
And for this, you have what? 100 multiplied by
100.
0.829. So the results will be what?
Negative 35,600.
35,600. This is the MPV for node D. For node E, we are heading somewhere. Don't get bored. For node E, you can see it 300, 200, 200, right? You know, somebody will say, what kind of nursery one question is this? This is SFM. So, and we have it. I know it's looking nursery one, right?
As you want, but it's very tactical. Very critical.
So not E now. Not E. Year 0, an outflow of 300. Year 1, 200. Year 2 will be what?
200.
200. Yes, 200. 200. So 200. So when you multiply, this will give you what here?
181,800.
181,800. And this will give us what?
165,200.
165,200. And the MPV will be what?
Positive 47,000.
We should get delivered from negativity functions. So 47,000. So now for node F, it's what? You are investing 300 in year 1, you are getting 200. In year 2, you are getting what? 300.
300.
So you solve again. You are heading somewhere. So now you have it as node F. Node F, year 0, 300. Year 1 will be what? 200. Year 2 will be what?
300.
300.
300. So when you do this mathematics, this you should have what? 181,800. And these will give us what?
247,800.
247,800. And you do the plus and minus, you should have
129,600. Positive.
9. Yes. People should be ahead of me now. Yes, with this expression, should move very fast than me now. Yes, we are just repeating. And this node G, let's go and see what is there. Node G.
200 inflow in year 1 and 200 in year 2.
Okay, fine. Yes. So if you follow what you have in your book, your diagram, you can be very fast than I am now. So this you have node G. This is 300, and this will be what?
200.
This is 200, and the result here will change to what should be 272, and you multiply that, if you have this 7, and this will be what? 200, 0.826. You're going to have it as okay, this, and this should result into this. When you do your plus and minus, 300, 272, 700, 165, 200, you should have these 137, 900. Positive. So still moving, almost getting to a point. Now let's see. This is G. For H, 300, 300.
Hello.
Everything 300.
Hello. Good evening. The man welcome. Okay.
So node.
Who can I go?
Hey, also go. Beacon.
Hey, sorry.
So we have node H. So for year 1, we have 300. For year 2, 300 likewise. So now, for the present value, this will be what? This should be 909 multiplied by 3. 27. Okay, 27, 272, 700. 700. And this 8 by 3, 24.
247.
You have 247,800. Then the NPV will be what? NPV should be
500.
500. 220,500. Wow. We are still moving. Somebody is breathing high. And you are not even thinking as much. This one is, you are not yet thinking now. You are just doing repetition. I just don't want to jump the process. Let's keep moving like this. So you have this node I here. Let's go to see what is here. Node I. You have 300.
That is 350.
Okay, 350. So we have it. This is 300, and this will be 350. These are inflows. Now this will be what? 272.
700.
And this will be
28900.
289, 100. And overall, the NPV will be what?
261,800.
261,800. So let's go back to the tree. Now you can see everything you have here. For A, you have an outcome, right? Already. You have an NPV derived for this point. You have an NPV derived for this point. You have an NPV derived for this point. This whole NPV, what will it result to at point J? What will it result to? You know, this choice here is giving you three alternatives. So the question is, what is the combined NPV of A, B, C? This NPV of A, B, C, what is their associated probability? It will lead you to get the expected net present value. The expected net present value. Now, the NPV of A is what?
209,100 negative.
What is the probability associated with it?
0.25.
So 0.25 multiplied by A will give you what? Expected NPV of A.
52.
Yes. 0. For B, the NPV is what?
The NPV is 126,500.
Multiplied by 0.50 will give you the expected NPV.
Okay.
So let's go and show it so that we'll not waste much time. So that will be what? Node what?
Node J.
Good. Node J. Node J. Node J. So now, this node J now, the story will be what? Combine
ABC.
Combine NPV of what?
ABM.
Of nodes A, B, and C. So this is no longer here. It is node. And this will be what? This will be NPV. And this will be what? Probability. Probability. And this will be what? Expected net present value. You can write it in full for the first time. so that you will not ask later what is ENPV. It is expected net present value. Now we have the knots that make up J will be what? A, B, and what? And C. Their MPV, respective MPV, is what?
209,
Zero.
100.
And 100.
All right. So 209, 100. The probability associated with that is what? 0.25. Multiplied by 209, 100, you should have what? A negative value of what?
52.
52,275. For B, the MPV is what?
126,500.
126,500. The probability
0.50.
and you multiply,
63,250.
you have 63,250. Hope nobody is lost now. Everybody, hope we are together.
Yes, sir. We are following.
Yes, sir, we're together.
Yes, sir.
There is no any simultaneous equation here. So let's just be following like that, so that we'll rejoice at the end. So 0.50, the probability at node C is what? 0.25. So the MPV, expected net present value, is what?
10,975.
10,975. So the overall expected net present value will be what?
126,500.
126,500. So this is the results for point J. Let's go and see it. Point J. And you do the whole NPV multiplied by associated present value. You have associated probability, rather, you have the result for point J. For point J. You have the result for point J. Yes. So we'll still move further because, you know, point J, point K, point L should give us M, right? Isn't
Yes.
it?
Yes.
Point J,
Yes,
point
sir.
K, L should give us M. Then M should give us N. So let's now move further. We've treated J. Let's see what
Okay.
point K will look like. But you can go ahead to solve ahead if you know what to do. Yes. So we have it. This is not
Okay. Now
K now.
DEF.
So we have node D, E, and what? And F.
F.
So the MPV for node D is what?
35,600.
35,600. And for E,
47,000.
47,000. And for F,
129,600.
129,600. 129,600. Okay. Then this, the MPV here, EMPV here will be what? Same probability. This 0.25, 35,600, 89. Yes, 89. And for this, we should have what? We should have 475 times 4, 2. That is
23,500.
23,500. And 129, 0.25, 32,400. So the expected NPV overall will be what?
64,800.
Okay, 64,800. Can we check again? This plus this is 50 minus 89. It should be
47,000.
47,000. So that is for not K. Not K. Not K. So the next will be what? Node what now? Node L. Node L. This
How
point.
did you get 47,600? Sorry.
Okay, 3560 negative NPV. Not D.
All negative now.
You add EF and minus D.
Okay, the other one
23,500,
is okay.
32,400 minus this. You should have 47.
E is possible. Okay. All right, sir.
So next we have node
Negative. Just be careful.
node L. And these will be the combined nodes of G,
G, H,
K,
I.
I. Let me see. Hope I changed this. Okay, I didn't change this so that when I forward the solution, I will not get much questions. D, E, F. If I change this, not J, A, B, C, I think that is fine. So now for L, this will be what? Okay, the knots are what? Will be what now?
G, H, I.
G,
G.
K, G, H, I.
Yes.
For G is going to be what? 137.
900.
And for this is going to be
220.
220, 500. And for this, it will be what?
261, 800.
800. So the probability is this expected ENPV
Next one is 34,475.
34,475. And for these 0.5022,
110,
250.
and this should be 65450. Overall,
655.
this should be 210, 34, 110, this, that's 175.
Two 175.
75. Yes.
So now do node M.
Node M. L.
Node M.
Combination JKL.
Components now.
Node
What will
M.
be the components?
Combine
JKL.
JKL.
What will be the components now?
Solving for the
You
operator and
combine
JKL.
J, K, and L.
MPV for
The
M.
MPV.
J, K, and L.
Okay. Let's see now.
It's a long shot.
Not M. It will now be a combine. Combine what now?
Combine MPV for JK.
For J,
Yes.
K, and what? And
L.
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 So now this will be not. This will be ENPV, and this will also be ENPV now overall. Now for J, K, L. For J now, the ENPV is what? What would you write?
126.
126.
Negative.
126. 500. Somebody is asking now, how did we get 126? Let's go back there. This is it. 126, 500. Do I know you've not? I'm just trying to read your mind. Yes. So this is it. Not J. 126, 500. So when we now look at not K, when you do plus and minus, you have 47. That would be the value for not K. The next thing, 210. So that is how we derive that. So now 126, 500. For this is 47,000. And for this is what? 210.
175.
So the shaded probability is given. The ENPV is what? Expected net present value. This should be a negative 1. 25126,500. Right. And for this, we have 0.5 times 420, 3. This should be 5. 5 to 10. 5 to 10.
50,
This will be what now?
52,544.
52,544. And the ENPV will be what? 23,
44,419.
4719.
44,419.
419.
Yeah, I got
So
719.
it is well.
Right.
It's 419.
500k. 47,600.
Who is getting 44,419?
I got 44,419.
It's approximation, sir. It's just the approximation. 44,419.
So fine. So if not M is 44,419. If not M is 44,419. The question is asking us to do what? What is the expected value of the project MPV? Expected value. Now the expected
Sir,
value
please can you
of the
recap?
project
Sorry.
MPV. I'm with you, please.
Can you recap your last statement? Sorry, I did not get it.
Okay, I'm just trying to refer to the question and to us to arrive at So requirement A, that what is the expected value of the project NPV? Expected NPV. Now, from what we've solved now, if M is 44419, the investment, the decision for N, which is our investment now, the expected NPV will be what? If node N is equal to node N, what will be the expected NPV?
Like 44
419.
minus.
Yes, 44,419. So
minus
node N,
300,000.
no, you've already derived your results. Node N is equal to what? Node M. And node M is what?
44.
719 was what I got.
419. So the expected net present
Sir,
value of the
sorry.
project is what?
Minus 255.
55281.
Is it not 255? 581.
Okay, how did you get that?
We subtracted the node M from the node M.
The output.
If you've been solving for those of you in FM class, you've been solving yes, some of you actually have done well in most of those assignments. Yes, when you're trying to look for expected value, there was a question I forwarded as an assignment. You won't put the what is it called? The outflow, which is the 300,000. You don't need it. Yes, you don't need to subtract. This expected value is the profit to show that the NPV is positive and the project is worth investing in. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question is, they're asking you what is the expected NPV. So for you to get the expected NPV, you've actually used 300 in your workings over time. Yes. So
Yeah.
now the overall result is what? Is this. That is therefore the expected net present value, expected net present value of the project is 44,419. This is what the question wants you to do. This is the expected NPV, ENPV rather. The B is saying, what is the probability that the NPV of the project will be negative? What is the probability that the NPV of the project will be negative? So who can speak about this now?
I.
Sorry, can you come again?
Is not J. The probability that the project will be negative, right?
That is NPV now. NPV, take notes. Yes, the probability that the NPV will be negative is what?
It's from the combination of project A, B, and C.
Very good, very good. That is just the result. A, B, C.
Exactly.
Yes, what are those projects? A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. So it's a very straightforward something. But you must get your decision tree first.
Again?
No, I'm just telling you. As in, for you to solve all
Issues apply.
I have a question, please.
what is the question?
So why drawing the decision tree? Because while looking at it, we started from the last point to start our numbering. Like we started numbering A when that's from year 2. So how come? Is there any rationale behind it? When you start when you draw your year 1, you didn't label. You have to wait when you draw all those things. So you not start from the end year 2 to label it.
No, you can decide to label it anyhow you want. Yes, you can start from the first point. That place where you have M. You can write 1, 2, 3, 4. You understand? You can label that point A, B, C like that. So the labeling is not an issue per se. It's interpretation of
It's interpretation. How you interpret it.
your chances. Yeah, so you can decide to number it. If me and you were in the same exam hall, your labeling will be different from my own. Yes.
This thing might look easy from the very beginning, it might look easy, but if you fail the 3 from the beginning, you have failed everything.
Yes. So, and that is why I have a beautiful assignment for you.
Sorry, sir, I have a question. What's the rationale behind not subtracting the actual
300.
cash flow of the 300,000 from the 44,419?
So somebody should respond to that.
It has been considered from all the computations, so there's no need subtracting it again. You have subtracted it from all of the MPVs you got from the beginning.
Okay. Thanking you.
I think it's because of the investment.
Oh my God. So please, can you speak on the B part again?
Yes, I'm going to write on it very well. I'm going to write on it.
Okay.
Is Madam Tolani in this class? Let me check the list. I've not heard her voice since. She's not here. All right. Okay, for the B, let's write something there. Mr. Udu. I'm not hearing your voice, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir. Good evening.
Because my affinity is missing your voice.
The men today are silent. All the men today are silent.
Network is disturbing me. Sometimes I will not see the screen.
Oh dear. Sorry about that.
Yeah. But I'm following.
Okay, sorry about that.
I'm following, yeah.
All right, sir. So for B, what is the probability that the NPV of the project will be negative? The probability that NPV will be negative is the probability of the nodes with negative NPV. Let's see, calculated as follows. calculated as follows. Calculated as follows. Yes. Let's see. So we have the nodes. Node. What are those nodes with negative MPV? A, B,
A, B, D.
C,
And C.
and we have D. So now, for A, let's go and see A. What's happening there in A?
209, 100.
The probability now. You are concerned with the probability. Yes, because the question is saying what? What is the probability? What is the probability that the MPV of the project will be negative? What is the probability? So the probability for this, for A, you have 2 years.
Yes.
You have actually, yes, 3 years, but you have 2 years of inflow, the MPV now. So now, what is the probability of year 1?
0.25.
0.25.
What is the probability of year 2?
0.25.
0.5.
0.5.
50.
0.5.
So for node B, what is the probability of? Yes, for node B, the probability of year 1 is what?
0.25.
0.25.
Okay, 0.25. And for year 2, the probability is what?
0.5.
0.5.
0.5.
0.5. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Node C, the probability here is what?
0.25 year 1 and 0.25 year 2.
Okay. 0.25 year 1 and 0.25 year 2. Okay. And for D?
0.5 year 1, 50 year 1 and 0.25 year 2.
0.25 year 2.
Sir, please, sir, how can I get the question? I didn't join early. Can I get the question to the solution?
It's on
Please.
the platform
This is the question.
and it's on the WhatsApp group.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Oh, God, network is a bastard.
For node A, the probabilities are what? For node A. Look at this diagram.
0.25 year 1 and also 0.25 year 2.
Fine. So for node B, the probabilities are what?
0.25 year 1 and 0.50 year 2.
Fine. For node C is what?
0.25 year
0.25,
1
0.25.
and 0.25 year 2.
For node D is what?
0.5 year
0.50
1 and
and
0.25 year 2.
year 2.
Fine. So let's go back. So now, this is it. Workings.
Thank you.
Somebody is tired.
It is well.
Somebody is hungry.
Uh,
I just came in from work and I joined it.
Uh, you people used to have food in your fridge now.
Ah, I eat now. Now it's my brain. Let me finish.
It's only after Nikki.
So the workings is the combined probability of year one combined probability of year one and year two of node A. So what are those combined probability? 0.25
25.
multiplied by 0.25.
25.
So the probability will be what?
0.50.
It will be what? 0. What?
0.0625.
0625.
In percentage, it will be what?
Oh. 6.25.
That is 6.25.
Once you get the first one, it's fine. What's just to for B, the combined probability will be what?
Father. 0.25 times 0.050.
Combined probability. Combined probability. I don't need to write all these stories again. The first one I've served. So all what is in that first is also applicable. So 0.50 multiplied by 0.25. The result here will be what?
12.5%.
So 12.5%.
12.5.
And for C,
0.25 and 0.25.
so we have it as 0.25 multiplied by 0.25 to give us what?
6.25.
So we have 6.25.
0.25.
And for D, for D,
0.50 and 0.25.
so we have it as what?
12.5%.
12.5.
So overall, the total probability will be what?
Wow. 12.25 plus 6 points.
37.5.
So 0.3650 is that 7.5.
7.25.
So
0.37.5.
the point is this. Therefore, the probability of negative of negative MPV is 37.5%. 37.5%. The probability that MPV will be negative is the probability of the nodes with negative MPV calculated as follows. So the probability of negative MPV will be what? 37.5%. This is what the question wants you to do. Yes, but the key point is your ability to draw the decision tree. So on your own, after you've taken your dinner, you assume this is the first time you are seeing this question on your own.
Okay.
Attempt it. Even when you hook, run and look at what you've put down. Yes, that is learning curve. That is learning curve. Sometimes you won't just get it at once. You must revise and revise again. Yes. If you watch the earlier video I put forth, there was a video on this topic I treated last night. I forwarded it like this question now. I decided not to solve this question because I have the video already. Yes, I treated this question last diet FM performance management class. So this is the 3. If you want, you can also read through and follow the video likewise. You see all we treated. This is not far-fetched from what we've done, but in this case, it's not a case of MPV. But you can see, by the time you look at the solution, these are chances. So what we do is multiplying 0.9 by 35, 13.5 M, you walk backward to determine the decision at this point. So I'll forward this video again for some of us that don't have it. You see the explanation on this. Yes, you fast forward the video. I think I treated 2 topics in that class. I cover up a particular topic, then I now talked about this. So you fast forward the video. For those doing PM, especially, this class is a combined FM and PM class. So because this topic overlap, so you can also get more understanding from this. So I also have an assignment here for us to solve. I think I'll also write another assignment. I was not able to put it down. I'll put it down and step forward. That should be from an ACCA document. I'll see how I get it. So I'll also forward to the platform so that anywhere you see decision tree, you should match it and match it very well. So this is a question not far-fetched from what we've solved, that advise the director of Harvard Limited on what decision to make, assuming the cost of capital is 5%. That Harvard Limited is considering project X, it can invest either 500,000 or 1 million on project X. A decision now, should I invest 500,000? Should I invest 1 million? If I should make these decisions now, if it invests 500,000, it has 0.6 chance of receiving net cash flow of what? 200,000 per annum for the following 5 years. You can see 5 years, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5 is calling you now. And 0.4 chance of receiving nothing, that is nil, 0. If it invests 1 million, it has a chance of receiving 200,000 naira per annum for the following 5 years with 50% chance. It also has 0.5 chance of receiving 300,000 naira in the first year, in which case it has a choice of investing further. This is a choice giving birth to choice. Yes, chance, giving birth to chance now. Or not to invest at the end of the first year. If it invests further, 1 million, if it invests further 1 million naira, its cash flow will be 600,000 naira per annum for years 2 to 5, excluding year 1 now. If it does not, its cash flow will continue at 300,000 naira per annum for years 2 to 3. Required, advise the director of Hawaii Limited. Yes, so you also advised me likewise on what your decision will be. So I just hope you can solve this. Make attempts. You can do a rough sketch. At first, it will be a rough one, but we'll help ourselves out and guide ourselves further. So try and solve this. But before solving this, go through everything again. Don't just jump to these assignments. Go through everything. If this is your first time of coming across this, but if you have an idea of what this is all about, fine, you can go ahead to solve. But it's better you meditate and have a recap of what we've discussed. Then you can now move further to solve this. So I'll still send one more question. If I have time, I'll bring it forth. I'll forward to the platform. So you solve and you share your solution. So I will correct ourselves and become better. So tomorrow is still supposed to be for PM. Yes, but for PM, okay, let me stop this.